Okay, alright, that's kind of where we left off. I have my information in my chart. I've uploaded the project template and I've got it opened as a presentation in Google Docs. So again, you're going to have to fill in the table on slide 2. I'm not going to do that right now. I think you can do that on your own. Okay, slide 3. It simply wants a scatter plot. Okay, so I'm going to go back to Google Sheets. I'm going to select my table. I'm going to go Insert, Chart. Okay, and it's going to pop up either with the chart editor, like mine off to the right here, or it's going to kind of pop up as a pop-up. But again, we don't want a bar graph, we want a scatter plot. So right here where it says data, it says chart type. I'm going to change this to scatter plot. So I'm going to scroll down. I want a scatter plot. And there it is, all nice and pretty. So I've got my title, my axes are labeled, I've got my scatter plot. So this is what it's looking for slide 3. So I'm simply going to select my chart, which it is selected. I'm going to hit Control C. Then I'm going to come over here to my presentation, and I'm just going to hit Control V. It's going to ask me, do I want to paste a link or not? Okay. Select Paste Unlinked. That way you're just basically taking the graph and copying it. You're not linking it to anything. I'm going to make it bigger so we can see it. And move it off to the area. Okay. So then you have to do your discussion down here. Okay, my population was increasing, and then 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, kind of hit a low patch, probably due to the Great Depression, and then we started to increase. Not dramatically, but just slowly increase. Again, your discussion doesn't have to be a paragraph, just a few sentences. Okay. Slide 4 asks for the linear model. So I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet here. I'm not going to change anything. I'm not going to do anything to anything just yet. What I'm going to do is I'm going to click over to Customize. Click my graph. Click Customize. Okay, and I'm going to go down here to Series. Okay, and here, down here, it says Trend Line. So I'm going to click it, and it gives me some options. So the type of trend line, I want linear. That's what it asked for. I can change the color. I can change how opaque it is. I can change the line thickness. You don't have to do any of that. A label, use equation. So there's your equation, and this is again y equals. It doesn't put y equals, but that's implied. And then I'm going to click show r squared. So I have my equation and r squared. So now, again, I'm going to copy this graph as is, Control C, go back to my presentation, Control V. I don't want it linked, and I'm going to paste. Again, make it big enough so we can see it. Uh-oh, it didn't copy the equation and the r squared. That's annoying. So let's try that one more time. Control C. There we go. That time it worked. Okay. So again, I'm going to shrink this down so I have a little more room in my graph. So here's my graph. Again, my discussion, the trend line's fairly good. My r squared value is 0.64, so that's about 64%. Not great. A few points touch the line. Again, whatever, just a sentence or two. Okay, slide 5 has the quadratic model. So again, I'm going to go back to my spreadsheet. I'm going to stay where I am. I've got my trend line. This time I'm going to say polynomial, because I can't do quadratic, so I have to do polynomial. And then it says polynomial degree. I want to leave this as 2. So polynomial degree 2. I've already got my equation set. It's there. And I've got my r squared. So that was the only change I had to make. So again, I'm going to click Control C, go back to my presentation, Control V, unlink, make big so we can see. So this is a little bit better model than the linear, and that's what I would put in my discussion. This time my r squared is 92. That's a lot better than 64. So again, type your discussion. So here we want the exponential model. So again, back to my spreadsheet. This time I'm going to change my trend line type to exponential, second one down. Again, my equation is already there, so is my r squared. So Control C, Control V, unlink, paste, make big. Again, my discussion here, this is probably, it's a little bit better than linear, but not as good as quadratic. Okay? So the best one for my choice here was obviously the quadratic, and that's what I'm going to say on slide 7. So here I'm going to say quadratic, which I spelled correctly, and then I would put the equation y equals blah, 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 whatever I get from slide 5, this equation right here, okay? Again, you might have to write it down on paper first and then type it in here. So then, again, replacing this with what I had, Orleans County, New York. I forget exactly, so it says, so use the equation predicted for the equation 20 years from now. So 20 years from now would be 2038. Again, 20 years from now. And then I have to use my equation, plug in 20 for x, and again, use a calculator for this, to get a number. Replace your prediction with that number that you get from the calculator. And then again, discussion. I feel confident with my prediction because my r squared value was 90 something %. Okay? And that's it. That is all you have to do. Again, make sure your table's filled in. Do the discussions. Not asking for a whole lot here. And then do the prediction. And that's all there is to the Unit 4 project. Now, if you haven't done the discussion in the discussion forum, what you can do is add an 8th slide and do the discussion on the 8th slide, the discussion forum, which I think has to do with what could dramatically change the population of an area. So either do it in the discussion forum or do it on the 8th slide. And that's the Unit 4 project.